Greetings and good afternoon to those who are joining in today, and for those who would be watching us later on a recorded version of this. The greetings appropriate to that time of the day from when you are watching this. This is the first of a series of webinars that we at DWay are putting together to explain digital credentials, their impact on the transformative impact on business, and more importantly, how you can get started in your business or in your workflow with digital credentials. This meeting is being recorded. This would also be available on our YouTube channel. And to and participants are joining this meeting muted, but you can always engage in conversation. If you have questions, you can use the Zoom chat to put the questions, and we will get started. So the agenda for today is fairly simple. I'm joined, my name is Shankarshan. I work at DWay. At DWay, we are involved in steering towards a frictionless future of digital data exchange. And for doing that, we are building out products and services that help make that possible. One of the products that we'll be discussing today with Amar, who leads engineering at DWay, is Mark Studio. And Mark Studio is primarily linked with digital credentials. And our session today is about digital credentials. But having said that, let me set out the lay of today's conversation, the lay of the land. It's fairly simple. We'll ask Amar about a bit about digital credentials. Amar is going to walk us through in terms of how simple digital credentials are to be produced and used in daily life. We'll talk a bit about some of the key questions or common questions we receive during our conversations with prospects and customers. And then we'll reach out to the participants. If they have questions and concerns, we'll discuss them a bit. So we talked about digital credentials. So there's a bit of things to unpack over here. I'm not going to do all of the unpacking. I'm just going to say that credentials is something that we use in our everyday life. We carry credentials on our person. So if you have a driver's license, that's a credential. You have a passport, that's a credential. So it's essentially a document that attests to your claim of being able or eligible to do a certain thing. So, and if you keep that in mind, then perhaps you think that the digital credential is the same credential that's on paper or plastic in a digital form, which is a PDF or a JPEG, an image. But the question then becomes does a PDF or a JPEG really make it a digital credential? And I'm going to start from there. I'm going to ask Amar, what is a digital credential? And if I have a PDF of my driver's license, is it a digital credential? What makes it so special?
Okay. Hi, Sankarshan, and hi, everybody. I am Amar, and I lead engineering at DWay. To answer your question, Sankarshan, so the simple answer is no, right? So it is not technically a digital credential, right? It is a credential in digital form, I would put it, but it is not a digital credential. The difference is simple, right? So there are some properties when we talk about digital credentials, which are very important for business to consider, right? So the first one is, when you see a digital or whatever you see it may be printed in the like paper format, or it may be a PDF or like, as you said, an image which you receive in a WhatsApp. So it should be verifiable. That's the first property, right? So what do you mean by verifiable is the image by itself or PDF by itself should have a possible link to a server or some place in the web where you can re-verify whether it is what it claims is valid or not, right? So that's a very, very primary property of it. And there are, of course, multiple other properties on the digital credential, but I hope I answered your first question, whether it is a digital credential. So the answer is no. And that's the main property, that it should be verifiable. So that's a very, very primary property of digital credentials, Sankarshan.
Okay. So you mentioned that it should be verifiable.
Correct.
Pretty good. What about the fact that it should be easily verifiable, or I should be able to do this easily without having to go through multiple hoops of procedural complexity?
Correct. So one thing which comes along with the word digital itself was ease of managing things, right? So the whole hassle of your what do you say, the management of your credentials, like whom you are issuing, how do you edit it, how do you recall it, how do you say that it is all done, right? So that is where ease of management is the property every businesses would get when they choose for a digital credential. When I say ease of management, it is like, say you made a mistake, or it's a spelling mistake is there, or date of birth is made a mistake, right? So today, for example, everybody who has done a driver's license or a correction in their any of the government issued credentials would know how much hassle the process is, right? You have to go to the government office, give all the documents again. It is as good as you get a new credential, which again takes days. So what about the digital credential is, it makes it very, very simple, where you can by like making changes with proper source of what do you say, if you have the enough data to verify it, you can make it change and it will be reflected immediately, right? So that's the second part, second part, or the property of the digital credential. To talk more about these properties, there are a few more things, right? So because it is digital in nature, you can also understand or track the activity. I don't say track because it is a negative connotation, but you get to know about the credential, whether it is being verified, because to verify it, you have to provide some data from the server. So that's where we get to know that, hey, this credential is being used and it is used for this purpose. So we can, based on the context, we can give the right information or share the right information and things like that. So again, it becomes another point along with that is privacy and the trust and a lot of things which comes along with the digital credential as a topic. So I believe that may take a lot of time to explain, right? So I'll focus on just telling that, hey, this is easy, or your activity monitoring is easy with this. And then the fourth property I would say is, because I talked about element trust, right? So it is not easy to gain unless it is actually in a distributed model, right? So where there are more than one person who can assert saying, hey, this data is valid. So that is where we go with the ledger based technologies. If your credential is anchored or is asserted from the ledger saying this data is verified, I think that makes the property most of the properties of the digital credential.
Right. Okay. Fair. So one of the things that is a natural fallout of being in the digital credential space is that it is shared extensively. I mean, there's not a single social network that one is on where we see that various acclaims and attestations are shared. So it also means that it should, as and when it is shared, the verifiability and the fact that it is exactly what was issued, or the fact that it was not modified or tampered, the ability to assert that and reassure the viewer that quality exists. Yeah. It also is as an important piece, right? Because these days manipulation techniques are reasonably easy.
Correct.
And for especially images or even something that is like a PDF.
Correct.
So what's your take on that in terms of
okay,
how these seem to be, sometimes these seem to create a sort of trade-off, right? But it's
true.
You tell it's easy to do it.
Correct. So there are one property, you talked about the trust and assertion and how do we verify and all that, right? So the elements which make that this document or the I'm talking credential here, but a credential can be a certificate, badge, or anything, right? So as Sankarshan said earlier in the discussion, so related to anything you have in a like any document you have, it may be DL, passport, Aadhaar, or maybe your college certificates. So relate to all of those. So these digital credentials, the primary thing is who issued it. That's becomes the first part, right? So can you tell it is actually, like I studied in a VTU college, right? So, or universities, then is it actually issued by VTU? That's the first part, right? So, and is it issued to me or the person who is claiming it?
Oh, you mean that this is not a college student in their dorm issuing themselves certificates?
Exactly. Okay. That's what the fakeness comes from, right? So because it is PDF and the whole point you talked about, there is always the element of fake. Like somebody who's a great designer can make it something look like a credential which was the same issued. So, and or somebody can scan it and just change the name. So that's where it becomes tricky, and because it may be a big harming thing for the businesses. That's where we tell that digital credentials help your brand or the quality, like your brand image in our opinion. That's where you should be considering all this. So that is, first is who issued it, to whom, the second thing, and then when it was. Because say if you verify it on the server and there may be somebody who manipulated the whole stack of things, right? So then when it was issued, because my degree certificate should have been issued like 17 years back, right? So if it says that it was issued today or like yesterday, then I can easily figure out that, hey, this is there is a miss, right? So that is another part. And then what, that is the biggest part, where what content, whether the data which was part of the same credential, is it the same I am presenting? So that is where all these four elements make the whole credential being verifiable and all that. That's where we come to Hashmark Studio, right? The product we have.
Right.
So, and you talked about, I'm talking about ease of doing it. So it is easy because we have abstracted a lot of things with the studio, Mark Studio, right? So one of the things we figured out early in the game is, see, the bridge between the paper credentials and the digital credential has to be because very early in the game, I talked about a given piece of like it may be PDF or image should be verifiable on a server. So people started with the URL embedded in an image, right? So there is so much of a possible errors there where it may look like, say, Sankarshan. So it is like, you say your site name is sankarshan.com, for example, right? So there may be a small spelling correction people may do in a URL and may point you to different URL. So for looking at, so it may be looking similar, but it may be pointing different. That's where the QR codes came in handy. So you can print it out, but your phone or any regular smartphones can actually allow you to take you to the servers. So that's where we enhanced on it. We made sure that, hey, QR codes also had some of the challenges with all these manipulations, and people are, because people can't read it. It doesn't matter which language you know or how much educated you are, you can't read a QR code, right? So we need a machine for it. So that's where we improved on it, and that's I think it's a good time to get.
I think it's a good time to actually show what one of the credentials look like, and then we go to this.
I'll get started on that. Yes. So on the screen, what you see is actually my Dive ID card, right? So it is, when I say mine, so you can, everybody who's participating, if you're trying to participate from a desktop, then you can actually scan it, scan the hash mark, we call it. So hash mark code on the right side. So you can actually verify this whole ID card, saying whether I actually belong to Dive, whether my name, did I edit my name and the photo, or even the title or the ID and all those things, whether it was part of the credential, right? So this is just a sample of how a digital credential would look. So this is how our Mark Studio can allow you to design a ID card like this for your institution, Sankarshan. So it becomes very easy. I will actually show you how quickly I can generate one ID card for you, right? Because we haven't got your ID card set up.
We haven't. We can do that.
Exactly. So for example, I was just talking about it, right? So what we can do also is like, this is one sample, and this may also look like, hey, this is another certificate. So we issued it to, a virtual person called Ashok Kumar for participating in our internship. So this looks like a very, very valid certificate. So how many of you say that, hey, this is not a valid certificate, for example? So the challenge here is, see, just by presenting this, people think that, okay, hey, this looks, everything is fair. There is a name of our founders on the certificate, which is digitally signed, so people may understand it is issued to Ashok Kumar. But if you scan the hash mark on the side, you figure out it is actually revoked. The reason it is revoked is because our HR department said they don't like the design so much, right? So then what we did is actually we did this as a certificate. So you see that this is the certificate, which is a genuine one. So the previous one, if you actually somebody presents it, it actually shows it as a revoke. So all these things, right? So even though people show it to somebody saying, hey, I have a credential, it can be verified immediately. So again, if you can scan all the things available here. So if you're on a desktop, it should be, I think, visible prominently on your screen, and most of the smartphone cameras can actually scan it. So try that out. And yeah, it can be coming in any designs, Sankarshan. That's a point I was talking about, right? So you can actually, this was one which I issued to one of our colleagues for participating on the webinar. So you see all of this is like, you can design all this. I'll just get started, I guess. And yeah, let's go into Hashmark Studio, what we have developed, and what all and how you can actually get started on all this, right? So
yeah,
on your screen, what you see is a logged in screen or a dashboard of our Hashmark Studio. So I'm not a new user. So it is, I actually have already created the credentials, which I showed it to you previously. So my screen is full of some of the spaces and things like that, which we tell here, right? So you see, we have organized things as a spaces here where you can make it or group things together or credentials together and start issuing them. For example, I talked about, Sankarshan, to issue you a credential, right? So at the present, I just have one here issued, right? So let's just get started on issuing a credential to you, right? So I'll issue a single one. We can do a bulk upload where you can issue at the same time hundreds of them, right?
yeah. This is just one type of credential you're creating, Amar, right? In terms of.
Oh yeah, this is it is, yes. That's a good point. I'll talk about multiple things, how it is visible, and also about how you can design your own. So all those we will talk about, right? So I'll just put M-man. So there are a lot of types. So I'm issuing it to you, and I think it is 5, right, Sankarshan? Or 6?
7.
Okay. There was a, I think, names. This is what, and director, customer experience. And thankfully, I do have a good photo of you. So, and as normal with the ID card, we can put an expiry date for this credentials. So after that, even though your credentials doesn't talk about an expiry date, when you verify, try to verify, it will talk about it. I'll just grant you a year-long thing, right? It's 25th November. Let's just make sure this credential is issued for a year, right? So what happens right now, it got added, but the status says it is draft. So I can edit it. I can recheck if everything is okay. And if you see the credentials, so it is available here. It is, but it's just, what do you say? It is in a draft mode. So, and I'll just issue it. When I say issue, right? So Sankarshan, you will get a mail after this, but when I say issue, this is where the whole blockchain or the ledger or all those things comes into picture. So this gets anchored into our chain. So the users need not bother about doing all that themselves or understanding about blockchain or anything. So it is successfully issued to you, and it looks like this. And the interesting part is you see something like a demo added here because it was a demo account. It is not an official Dive account for you, Sankarshan. I think that should be issued by Sri Vidya as a HR person. So, but anyway.
Yeah.
So,
right.
so these are because we have to build the trust, right? So somebody has to like use it. So I can't impersonate or do that. So that's where we have taken care of making sure every demo accounts or things where it is not approved will have such what do you say, overlays. And Sankarshan, so this hash mark, what you see here will be yours. You can always share it. So with this, it will be available. And just a few more things. For example, I was showing my card. I will go here. I can actually see the activity here. So there are 24 views on this card. I just created it yesterday. There was just one, and I can actually see the details. I don't get to see the names and details because all we can get is just the regular REST calls and whatever the information comes in the regular packets, which is just the information, time of the things, and which browsers, type of browser people use, but not about any personally identifiable data. So that's a thing we get on the server. So you can see at what time people scanned it and things like that. So I can make maybe some of the informed decisions based on this. So, and these details. And you talked about Sankarshan, about how can you have different type of schemas. We'll get there, right? So I hope you have an email. Sankarshan, can you check your email and confirm for our audience?
Yes, that I'll do.
Okay. At the same time, I'll just get back here and let's get to the dashboard. I'll try to show you how to pick the thing. So I'm just trying to create a schema here, webinar demo. So I just putting the name of the space here, demo purpose, and I can save it. And then this is where we can pick the different type of credentials. Right now, I have just loaded 4 of these. You can create your own. And also we can ask us so that we can load different type of credentials data for you. For example, if I say Diva ID card, then the ID card looks like this. So that's what, while selecting the schema or the credential type, we show it to you. Whereas if I take the participation certificate, you see a lot of different ones, right? So it may look like this, it may look like this, it may look like this. You have multiple options. So this is
so
where
a lot of designs are included in the templates.
Correct. Yeah. So you can pick based on your choice, your what you need, or you can create your own. So I'll get to that create your own part. So what you see here in the curly brackets are the things which are dynamically replaced, right? The things which are statically available here are the same, which will be just in the presentation layer. So I'll talk about those. So because what you saw while creating your card, right? So I entered few fields. Only those are the data which are talked about or hashed and anchored to the ledger. So, and so I was just talking about the that's how you pick the things. And now we'll get to the interesting part with the new version of the product here.
So this is how you can build your own.
Correct. So I can pick, say, participation certificates, right? So there was few things which are already created, right? So I added these 2, so that's where I see it in my save templates. And for example, right, so this is a simple one where we added all these elements, so I can drag and drop these things wherever I need, right? So this is how it is, or I can drag and drop the name. So the easiest thing to do is, if you're like design elements, you are a better designer, you have done a better designing for your companies, all you can do is just choose a background image. For example, like you can choose an image like this, right? So this will replace everything, right? So because what we have done is we have designed most of the static elements and picked it as a background here. So you can just drag and drop the things and pick the date. So for example, in this, it's a participation certificate, right? So I want to, these are the elements in the credential, which are dynamic. So I can actually add a title also. For example, title is about what, right? So this says just completion of his internship, so I can tell exactly which type it is, right? So I may add it somewhere here. So this is what happens, right? And I can just drag and drop, or I can even rotate it if you think.
So very standard how various editors use layered objects and compositions to to allow various details to be added to a static palette.
Okay. So you can actually drag and drop. So it's very simple. So I mean, it is, you don't have to be a techie or a technologically very literate to operate it. It looks very simple. You can operate it easily. Just press the save template. It will be saved against the particular credential type, and you can get started, right? So yeah, that's most of the things with the webinar Sankarshan. I think For everything in detail, we are planning to talk with our engineers also included. Multiple webinar series will happen from Dive, so you can keep waiting for those, and we can take any other questions and talk about how businesses would help and things like that, right? So as in what more they need from us and the features which are coming up.
I'm going to kind of lead this with a few questions that we received, because when we were doing the promotional activity for this webinar, we also asked interested participants to present us with questions, and we did receive quite a few. So I'm going to start off, I'm going to sort of be a bit distracted because I'm reading over here. I'm going to start off by asking, what are the other kinds of credentials that can be used? Are there other industries where this can be used? So I think that this is something we wanted to sort of also evolve through the various upcoming sessions.
Yeah.
But I believe, Amar, it would be fair to say that education is just one example that we are taking today, and there's a whole bunch of, like we said, we use multiple credentials, and anything that is a credential can actually benefit from adopting the workflow that you have. So what else do you think we should add to this?
So it is interesting when we tell this to people, right? So they can't believe us saying like any data which is transferred on the wire, we can actually anchor and make it a credential type, right? So, but it becomes too generic for somebody to grasp it. So that's where we believe verticalizing the possibilities is much better understood. For education, I'll leave it aside because Mark Studio is like, at least the demo I showed is focused on it, participation certificate, ID card and stuff. But for example, what you can do is just the notarization in the documents. You can anchor a hash mark and document can be hashed and stored. So that is one vertical. You can actually use it in FMCG, in packaging, where your packages can have a hash
So the
mark.
product detail, which is usually on the label as a very small size, can also have supplementary information that goes in to be delivered.
Correct. So
how about, here's a question. How about arts and handicrafts? Would these benefits
exactly, right? So it is like it can help you in proving the what do you say, the authenticity or I think the ownership, right? So because the challenge with the art and handicrafts, and even it's common in the diamond and some of the any high value things, right, where you have to assert that it is done by the particular artisans or it is mined in the similar one of the known mines and things like that. So all those details, yes, very much possible. So that is it is possible in the handicraft industries. It is also possible in track and trace, where actually you can build layered approach, which is we are in development. We'll talk to you if you are interested. So
basically in track and trace or shipping, the manifest documents can be layered and
correct.
I'm going to switch over and ask which I think is a rather interesting and funny question at the same time. Do hash marks always need to be black and white?
A good question. I think again I have to share my screen quickly to talk about this. Let me just show you something, right? So what this was the thing I was designing. I haven't changed. I see echo, sorry. Okay. So anybody has a question or shall I continue, Sankarshan? Okay.
I see so mic unmuted, but continue. If there's a question, we'll swing
back. You asked about black and white, but if you look closely, it is technically not black and white. You had a watermarked image there. So for example, this is what it looked like, right? The hash mark which we said. So you see two watermark things here. So we call it ice on the sides, and these are the points, but we have a Dive logo here, and organization's logo can come here. That's a very important thing. If you are a paid customer in our service, we actually allow the organization logo to be updated. And now about the color, I'll just pick. So this is one thing, right? So Sankarshan, how about this? Does this look good for you? So this looks like a seal. So it is.
It does.
Yeah. So now
it is unusual as well.
Exactly, right? So what I'll do, I'll just quickly make some changes here. I'll change some things here and maybe random, and I'll change some colors. I'm just putting some random colors here, Sankarshan. Hope that's okay. And I will just put a I think green border, not a usual thing, but I think it's okay. So now, how about this? Right. So
Fancy. This one looks good.
Yeah. So you see the eyes, it is all same. So you can also make it random. For example, this is eye. So all this is possible. So what we have done is we have taken the basic concept of QR code and enhanced it to, what do you say, have multiple parameters. It's like a currency available, right? A bill available, which is where it has its own secure elements in it. So similarly, our hashmark code, which we call, right, has its own elements of security. So it is not easy to copy compare from many of the web available tools. And this is just the element in it. It is just a bridge from your thing, but it is possible. Color is possible. And you can store it and reuse it. For example, these are the things which I already have, and you can reuse it, right? So things like this. This is a rectangular with a border and things like that. Yeah.
Right. And for all those who are joining us today in this conversation, if you want to play around and create your own hash marks for documents that you have, you can absolutely do that by signing up. We do have a free plan. You do not have to choose to pay us. We, of course, do have paid plans for various levels of and volume of hash marks that you create. We will add a link to how you can sign up in the Zoom chat as well. I also made a call out to the participants. Is if they have questions, they can ask them on the chat, or you can always choose to unmute and ask. I do have a list of questions that I think we will kind of wrap into a FAQ of sorts and publish when we do this on our YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to ask a question, please do go ahead.
And if they have some bigger features or talk about something in depth, we can do one more webinar session if people are interested to join. We are happy to do that also. So
the other thing I forgot to mention, Amar, the fact that the user interface and the user experience that you walked us through is part of our UI refresh. And we are having a general availability for that on the 1st of December, right?
True. Yes.
Yeah, so
that's a week from now. Yeah.
Yeah. So a week from now, all the experience that you just saw on screen is going to come up, and that's going to happen. So hang on, let me just post a link to how you can sign up and play around with the current user interface that we have. And you can also know more about the Mark Studios application over there.
Cool. Yeah, while you are doing that, Sankarshan, I think a few things. We talked about business and how you can benefit. Our opinion is there are multiple ways you can start using Mark Studio. The primary one is just log in by yourself and get started. So, but if you are a larger organization who already have some system, but you just want to take a digital credential part into your system, we are happy to help you and work with you to do the POCs to integrate with the API layer, so that whatever software you are running or things can smoothly get a digital credential with the ledger anchoring feature embedded into your things. And in general, it helps the brands to build the credibility, I would say, right? So extra trust, and those who can verify can do it much quicker, and it also gives you insights, and all your users, like for example, if you're a university, your students will benefit immensely from it. It is a great gift for your students if you can do that, and or your employees if you're a company, things like that.
All right. We are at the top of our allocated hour. In fact, I believe we have just blown past it by a wee bit, which I hope hasn't been a problem. It's been absolutely fantastic to have all of you join us. If you are on social media, and these days who is not, you can follow us on Twitter. Obviously, this is the link on for Twitter for us. It's Dive Networks is our Twitter handle. And we are also on LinkedIn and other places, as most companies are. Those links are also available from our homepage. Just to remind you that we will be following up this webinar with a whole bunch of other on very specific topics. This was the overarching theme for us is very simple. We want to create an recognition of the fact that digital credentials are a specific kind of credentials. They are not complex. They are very easy to adopt into our businesses, and we want to uh, join and partner with businesses to ensure that the overall goal of a trusted digital ecosystem that's based on open standards is realized. It is going to be a partnership, and we look forward to answering all the interest that comes out of at least this one and subsequent webinars. So with that, I am going to stop the recording. I'm going to thank all of you for joining us today.
Yeah.
And please look forward to the next one in this series. The next webinar is tentatively scheduled for the mid of December. And we will make sure that we have the announcements and the links going out well ahead in time. And we will try to keep the webinar in the 30-minute bracket. Thanks so much. Have a nice day. Stay safe.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.